But anyways, welcome folks. Welcome folks. This is Courtney Rollins with Aqua Properties LLC here with the Rising Tides intern program. Again, I'm Courtney. I'm the CEO and operator of Aqua Properties, along with my wonderful, beautiful fiance and partner, Shanita Melvin. We are relatively new, actually, to the wholesaling game. That's what we focused on this past year. Things have taken off based on be really going out there and finding education and finding coaches like the Wholesaling program, Brent Daniels, TTP, Talk to People. And along that way, we decided to document our journey and share what we're doing as a way to dig deeper and learn even more. We don't consider ourselves gurus at all, anything like that, but we are learning a lot and have been able to achieve, I think, success and continue to grow and struggle. So we want to show all the bumps, the bruises, the good, the bads, the uglies, and share our progress along the way. Got two amazing folks here with me who are part of the Rising Tides intern program. And that's a part of, again, our mission to help like just share and put in and get that and give value. And hopefully we're giving value, and we're definitely getting value from these two folks. So I'll let them introduce themselves. Why don't you introduce yourself, Crystal?
Hi, I'm Crystal. I've been in the Rising Tides internship since the beginning of February, so it has almost been 2 months, and I'm enjoying the process.
Heck yeah. What about you, Kayla?
My name is Kayla. I've been in an internship program for a little less than a month now, and I'm just here to help add value to your business and also learn new skills. You can never know too much information.
Absolutely. You guys have been awesome thus far. And the idea of the program is after 90 days, they would be able to, or whoever participates would be able to, do this business on their own. And the model that I teach is talking to people straight up, having quality conversations with usually distressed homeowners, but also having quality conversations with realtors, with title companies, with just anybody out there in the world, just being loud and proud of what you're doing so that people can know and they can, move towards you and you can move towards them. And it's not even a program that we're like promoting or putting out there, but if we see that we're able to support and help, we're definitely going to do that. And today we're actually talking about three things: qualifying leads, follow-up sequence, and then the last thing, if we're able to get to it with time permits, we're just going to talk about places that you can find different leads. So let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen if it allows me to do so. Let's see. Technology. Boom. So you all have definitely been digging in, calling leads, working with live ammunition. And I want to just reiterate how important it is to qualify leads. Quite often, you may think you're having a really good conversation, building rapport with your sellers. But sometimes this is such a numbers game that we got to make sure that we're having conversations with the right people. Again, remember 99, maybe a little less, maybe a little more of the folks out there aren't folks we really can serve. They either don't want to sell, or if they are looking to sell, they're looking for top market value, which in some cases we can provide and offer to them, as we talked about before, with different like terms that we can provide. But folks who aren't interested in those terms, or are less interested in market value, or aren't interested in selling, aren't the folks we can spend time with. But that small percentage of people, which is still a very, very large number because there's so much inventory out there, these are people we want to work with. And we still got to make sure that these are people that actually are people we actually can serve. So there are four main criteria for qualifying leads. And again, shout out to Andre King and Andy Speed for putting it in the terms of CPR time. And that, in no particular order, is the condition of the property, the price, the reason that this lead is interested in selling, and the timeline for selling. And so when you are going through the script, it is set up to find these leads. And again, you're always establishing rapport, building rapport, listening, and asking guided, mostly open-ended questions to get this information here. So for instance, condition of the property, and there are a lot of questions you can ask about that, but the main open-ended question is, what can you tell me about the property? And again, that's after you've set up, say, hey, Mr. Seller or Miss Seller, we base our offers off of three things: the condition of the property, the market value, and of course your situation. It usually takes about 3 to 5 minutes for us to figure out if we're the buyers for you. That sound like, does it make sense? Is that can we move forward? Sure. All right, cool. So what can you tell them about the property? You know, you don't want to get into like an interviewee. How many beds you have? What's the roof like? What's the bathroom like? That's just like listing, and that's just like, you know, robotic. It's more open-ended. Because to be quite honest, it really doesn't have anything to do with the property, as we've said before. It really has to do with the person, the people. Another way to phrase this is, if we need to get into HGTV, if we need to get HGTV ready, what would you do? This is cool because psychologically it puts you both on the same team, and collaboration is one of the highest forms of rapport. Any thoughts about this? Does this make sense or anything?
Makes sense.
Cool. And stop me, of course, anytime you have any questions or any thoughts or anything like that. So, like, this is after you've already gone through the script, you disrupted, you set the framework, you let them know, you know, what to expect in this call in a short amount of time, and now you know you're moving on to this. And then, and again, this is not necessarily in a particular order, but you also want to be able to ask, you know, what's your timeline? Is this something that we're thinking about next year, 6 months? 30 days, and what's the timeline? And what's dope about the timeline is it actually can lead to the most important qualifying factor, and that's the reason for selling. So one thing I like to ask is, like, you know, if we can reach an agreement, what's your timeline for selling? You know, and just again, upland the question, you get to learn a lot about them. They may tell you, well, I need next week because JoJo is coming and I need to get out here before JoJo comes, or, well, we don't really think about it, you know, if we get a good offer and all, you know. So this is a great question to ask, and a lot of ways you could ask this question, but asking it open-ended again is valuable. And again, the big motivation, reason for selling. This is the most important factor, because we're like nurses and doctors. We're trying to diagnose and find the pain point. Like if a seller comes in, they got a broken leg and they don't want to talk about that broken leg, or they have, you know, something a little whatever that fits the metaphor, and we're not able to pull that out. We're not able to give the right diagnosis for them. But we also can't just go in and say, you know, we just can't walk into the doctor's office and just stick a needle into them. I think I heard that on the podcast recently. Like that would be, you know, you probably get sued or something like that for that. So that's why building rapport and pulling out the pain point is so important, and really pulling out the pain point, but also pulling out the impact of the pain point. And that's why that Chris Voss work is so important, when you label the pain. Like, you can, hey, how is it not having your tenant pay? Well, how's that impacting your life? You know, those are you're really pulling out the impact of the pain. And that's shout out to John Martinez, who is an amazing sales and marketing coach. John Martinez, definitely check him out and the work he does in the RE sales and marketing space. But, you know, what makes you consider an offer? I know we just called you out of the blue, but what would make you consider an offer? Or what do you plan to do with the cash? Or if once we you know, sell, or once we move forward? You kind of plant the seed that you're going to move forward, but also you get to figure out, oh, I need this because I'm going to go and move out of state, or I'm going to put it into my new business, or I need to, you know, make down payments. And this also lets you reveal some pain, as well as ways we can, you know, solve their situation. So a seller may think they need $100,000 for their property, but you may come to find out that from what they really need is $10,000, because they need to put a down payment on, you know, something. So you can, when you get into the opportunity to present the offer, tailor it towards what their needs are, if that makes sense. Any questions or anything? Or thoughts?
No, not at the time.
All right, I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling then. And then the price. This is usually the hardest thing that folks struggle with to get. You know, there's some coaches out there and some companies will say you can't present the offer first. Whoever presents the offer first loses, and that's also in the mind of many sellers too. They know this. And, I'm sort of in the school of I don't like presenting an offer first, because once I present it, usually my value that I can add is done. That's all they really want to know. What can you offer? So I lean way heavily towards not presenting the offer, even if you get the price out of them, which you really need to. I still don't present the offer. I'm still like, and we'll go over that in a few moments. But I'm like, okay, you know, well, if we can get up to that price, I'll see if we get up there. But you know, matter of fact, we'll just go over that in a few moments. But great questions to ask is you've already told them that you base it off of market value. So how much are properties selling fixed up in that area? Or do you know what the market value is? Sometimes you can ask the tax assessment value too. What you know what the tax assessment value is? Or you know, just straight up, what would you be looking to get for it? Or I'm not gonna hold you to it, but what's your range? You know, love that I'm not gonna hold you to it. And then if they ask, this is and if you have to go back to like building rapport, and if they ask you what can you offer, you know, it makes sense. You know, you make sure you definitely want to offer from us. You can say, hey, well, my job is to collect as much information I can, and then I'll share with my team, and we'll get the best offer we hope to you, or best options to you. If they keep being persistent and they keep pushing, you can go to Zillow and look at the Z estimate, which really is just not as valuable at all, because the factors they're using there are usually very, very off. But you can use the Z estimate and just do 66% of that, 70% of that, 6% of that, just to see where they are. Because if you get a seller and say the Z estimate says 100,000, you're like, well, we probably might be around 60,000, and then you just hush up. Anytime you present the offer, you just hush afterwards. It can be awkward. I mean, like, feels so awkward, but you just hush up, and then you find out if you actually got somebody serious. They're like, oh, heck no way I'm going for that. You must be crazy. Or okay, you know, thinking about it. And so at least you know the temperature, so you can know how to better serve them, or you know how to present the offer. And what's great though is after you have all these down, you get the CPR time, you're able to label the lead a yes or a maybe. And you're able to do that in our CRM. We use Mojo for the first part of it. And you get to let them know, hey, all right, well, I see that, you know, you're taking notes, you repeat what their needs are, what their pain points are, and what they're looking for. And you say, okay, well, my next step is I'm going to try to get this qualified or see if this is approved. And it's a really cool thing, because you're seeing if like, does your stuff qualify, fitting our criteria and all the information you gave me. But you ask them, you want to set up some pre-confirmation and pre-commitments. And this is very important. All right, so okay, I want to see if I can get that approved. So let me just ask you, if we can get 50,000 approved, would you be ready to move forward? Or really an open-ended question that's really beautiful is, if we can get this approved, or if we can get this qualified, what will be the next step? All right, so you're saying if we can get 50,000 approved, Mr. Seller, you be ready to sign? All right, well, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna see if I can check with my team. I'll call you back in about 10 minutes, or I'll call you back in 30 minutes, or someone will call you back later on today, or someone on my team will call you back, you know, whatever your set time is, and we'll move forward. Or if it's a super, super hot deal, especially when you guys are doing this on your own, or even if you're doing it with me, but if it's a super hot deal, just like you did this earlier today, both of you, y'all are rocking, is, you know, okay, well, it looks like, especially if it's a hot deal. All right, well, it looks like somebody on my team might be out there later today. We're in the neighborhood. Can we stop by and put our eyes on it? I like saying that, put our eyes on it. Or okay, well, what if can we take a look at it and put our eyes on it, you know, tomorrow? And then you set up that time. Now the thing is, you ask them what time works for you, and then if they give you evening, night time, whatever, then you say, okay, 10 o'clock, we'll be there at 10 o'clock. Does that work? So you ask them what time area of time works for them, and then you give them a specific time. And of course, like when we're working together, we may need to, like, you know, I gotta move fast to respond so I can show my calendar. And there's other tools out there I should use, or we should implement, like Calendly, where I just have set aside times that work for me or work for us, and we set them up. But as you progress through this, and you guys, you know, move from like the qualifying stage to like really acquisitions, you have your own appointment set, and you can, you know, set them and we can rock and roll, which is pretty awesome. Or if you're doing it on your own, you know, of course, you know your own time schedule, so that makes sense. And then even if you are going out there, you want to get that pre-confirmation. All right, so, and that's where that long thing I was talking about before, Crystal, that I had, that's usually where this comes in. All right, so, all right, we're going to come out there at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Now, Mr. Seller, we can't buy a property we have, but you know, we're pretty serious. We go out there. If we agree on terms, agree on price, what's next? Or would you be ready to, you know, are you ready to move forward? Is there, and again, in the script, You find out, are there any other deal makers? Is there anybody else we need to make a decision on? Is anybody upset if we agree, and you know, is there anyone you need to talk to? You need to make sure you discover all of that, so that you don't get a deal, you know, chopped up or burnt. So discovering all the is basically it's unrevealing all the deal breakers. And oh, here, I guess I kind of jumped the gun. So if you're on the phone and you're closing this virtually, you know, when you call back, you may present the offer, and you may educate the seller on why you sold it. Sometimes I just do this in writing though. It's like, oh, well, here's our offers, our options, and I'll show like the rehab cost, the market value, all that stuff. And that's even sometimes after I've gone out to the property and I'm able to get like a little quick scope of work of what needs to be done on it. Again, you're just educating them and showing them, you know, the offer, showing them what was, you know, how you came and arrived at that number. Now, if they push back, you're like, okay, well, I dig it. You know, I may be wrong, but all right, I want to show you how I got to there and help me see like what points, what stages or steps, like or you know, are different, or did I miss or something like that, so that they can see, or maybe they even help you. Maybe there's something you did miss, and they can see why you arrived at your offer there. Now, most of these aren't going to close the first conversation, as you all have seen. They're not going to close after that qualifying lead. And some of them, there are lay downs, and that does happen. But most times you're going to have to do the follow-up. And that's when you use the follow-up sequence. And follow-up is queen, king, ruler of the land. And you use your CRM system, which is a customer relationship management system. I use RE Simply. And once you all hit yes, maybe, or the other qualifications, it goes to my calendar. I also have the lead manager, which is me right now, check through on Mojo at 8 o'clock at night when all the calls are finished, and I'll just copy and paste as well directly onto my Google Calendar. And when I put it on my Google Calendar, based on me listening to the call or looking at the awesome notes you will keep, I'll decide, okay, this is going to be a well, actually, I still put them on there. Like, okay, I'm gonna have a reoccurring Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So for just in case I miss them on Tuesday, which I hate missing follow-ups, I know Wednesday and Thursday I can catch them, and it's going to be weekly until I get a hold of them. And once I get a hold of them, I change the reoccurring status, and they come into daily, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, based on how it is, or once a week, or oh, I'm checking in 6 months down the road. If they say check in a year down, I cut it in half, 6 months, and so on and so forth. And really important is every time you follow up, you want to follow up with adding values, not just a, hey, just checking in to see if you sold your property there. It's following up with, hey, you know, especially with the notes you're taking, hey, it sounds like, you know, I got a couple people graduating, matter of fact, I got to make sure I get the notes. Hey, just wanted to congratulate you on graduating, or hey, I just wanted to send this to you to show that, you know, have how the market's doing now. Or, you know, hey, here's a video on how to prepare your house, and I thought was thinking about you, thought you might work. Or hey, I saw this video on pit bulls, or whatever it is based on that conversation. That's why you're keeping really, really good notes on everything that you come across with the seller. And these follow-ups can sometimes be, you know, text messages, emails, and not just phone calls. And what's really awesome is as you develop your system and you're collecting emails and you're creating like videos and recording your journey, thinking of the seller as the hero, you're able to send information to them. Like, I know we live in the world, you know, of Instagram and YouTube, where all these wholesalers are out there posting videos of their checks and posting videos of how to wholesale and how to find leads and all that stuff. And that's important because it adds value to people who want to wholesale, like you, me, and us, right? But when you're talking about sellers, that's not making them the heroes in the story. And so like these videos I have here are more faced to like add value to the wholesale industry, and I hope it does. But when I'm thinking about sellers, I got to put out information that's helping them. Or how do I sell my board up? How do I help what happens if my tenant's not paying rent? Or how do I get the most out of my property? Those issues that you always hear them coming up, or, you know, like, why do these people keep on calling me? You know, I mean, really, you're adding value. So those are the type of stuff that you want to create or find or use and leverage to share with them, because remember, everybody else is the hero in the story. Like, you're just a part of their journey, a part of their path. to help them get to their space. And that's something I got to continue to remember as well. But it's going to help us, add value. And what Zig Ziglar say, the more you help us, you can get everything you want in the world if you help other people get what they want in the world. I'm tore up that statement, but there it is. That's qualifying leads and following up right there. Any thoughts or questions about that, folks? Or ideas or
Yes, I actually have a question for the price slide. So is there actually a price cap on properties of which we're looking for? Like let's say your owner want like 200,000 for the property. If we know that's probably a little high, do we like say, oh, I'm not going to look into this property, or are we still going to try to, get more details for it?
Yeah, we try to get more details because that person wants to sell, and we got good information knowing that price. And you can go with the other qualifiers, timeline, condition, and the reason for selling, most important. And again, it may end up being a realtor price, a realtor referral in the future. And if you all ever get your license, it might be something, hey, well, I'm not the cash buyer for this property, but I could list your property and see. Or you can say, hey, well, Mr. Seller, I'm not the cash buyer for your property, but I work with a whole network of other buyers, and there may be somebody out there. I could put it out there and find the buyer for you if that's the route you want to go. Great question.
Okay.
Great question. So yeah, and then also you may be able to put that 200 out there if they're willing to sell on terms. You can buy any property on terms. I could buy a $3 million property if they let me.
Yeah,
for $1 a month.
true.
Something like, what I'm saying? It's like it's all about the terms, and some people, that's what they want. They want that steady income. So that's why understanding the motivation helps you put the right tools together. Instead of just coming with a hammer, we can pay cash and close fast.
Right.
I'll be able to have a whole lot of something else and use. Great question. Any other thoughts or questions? All right.
Question, but it's not related to the slide.
Okay.
So like today I had a lead that pretty much said like they're not trying to sell their home. They're actually trying to build up their portfolio. So I was like, okay, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's a potential buyer, but I didn't think like what to ask him specifically. So like it knows, I took his number down and I kind of put it in the notes and as well, just saying like, this could be a potential buyer. But in those instances, like what do we say to the person, or how do we like continue that conversation?
Oh, great question. And I do that all the time. Hey, it sounds like you're a buyer. It sounds like you're looking for properties. Well, one thing we do is we find off-market opportunities all the time. In fact, if you like, this your cell phone? Oh, cool. Well, once we get off, I'll text you over our website and you can put your information in and tell us your criteria, and we'll be looking for properties for you. And you can see what we have in our inventory and see if there's anything that works for you. And if it does, just give the number a call back and maybe we'll be able to work together in the future. Okay. So then you text them over the website, or you put it in the CRM so we can text it over. There actually is a buyer criteria too up there as well. Like you click, oh, this is a buyer on Mojo. I think I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it up there, but I never reviewed that with y'all. Great question. Adding value, yep. And there are it's valuable to also, as you're doing it your own too, to put in your follow-ups to connect with your buyers. You want to know your buyers on a first name basis. Well, the ones who are really buying. You may have a huge 1,000, 3,000, 500, whatever buyers list. It only might be 5, 10, 3 or 2, whatever buying, but you want to keep cultivating those opportunities. Because buyers are usually cyclical too. They're buying, some are buying hot now they're chilling out. New ones are always coming in. Real estate is it's the number one way to gain wealth. So people are learning about that all the time. And so following up with buyers and building that relationship is just as, if not, some people may argue, more important than leads, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bonus time. Unless y'all have, of course, if you have more questions, please keep asking. But this is just a real quick bonus. We're talking about like ways to find leads, and Crystal had a great question, and I thought it was just really cool, intuitive way of thinking about leads. You remember what you said Monday about leads?
Oh, with Zillow?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was asking is it a way to like go through Zillow and look at like the expired list, or like either people that's been on there for like 88, 90 days, 200 some odd days on listings?
Right.
Would that be lucrative to like go after those people as well?
Absolutely. And the answer is absolutely. I don't think you can find expired listings on Zillow. If I'm wrong, please let us know or let me know, or we can check it out after this conversation. But I know you can put in the criteria, it's been on the market for a certain amount of days. And that's all you do. Go to the criteria, put in it in the area that you're looking for, your farm area, and then set it to criteria. So it's like, certain amount of days on the market. I think 6 months and above is great. Like if they've been on the market for 6 months, especially in this hot market, something's going on. That realtor's, for whatever reason, not able to get that thing off, or if they're selling it by themselves, they're not able to get that thing out of there. So you might be able to add value. And that is a great, and the thing is, you got the realtor information right there. So you can just call the realtor, and it's not as a big of challenge of building reports, kind of more transactional. Which leads me to the last bonus really too, is that you can go on Zillow and look in areas, and you can find out if a realtor is like, well, one, if they represent folks who are like doing cash deals. You can go on PropStream and do the same thing, but find those realtors. And some people make a whole career out of this. They just call 3 to 5 realtors a day, and some of them don't even worry about if they're representing cash buyers. They're like, hey, I'm Courtney. Just want to let you know that if you come across any deals or properties or whatever that you can't move, or you just know you can't list, I want to be your guy you think about. I want you to be the first person. If I'm not the first, I want to be the second. And we're buying properties all the time. We have a large database of investors, or we buy it all the time, and I want to be that person for you. And on the other end, if I see properties that I can't, that they need your services, I would love to shoot them to you. And that same person you just call once a month, and you just keep building up until you have just tons of realtors. It is a amazing way to get deals, because like with our sellers, some of them don't have multiple properties, some do. But once you sell and what's that, it's really not that transaction's done. But it's nice going back to the well with that same realtor who's throwing you 4 or 5 leads a year. Those 4 or 5 leads is $10,000, $15,000 an assignment. That is awesome. You do that with, multiply how many realtors you do that with. I mean, there's some people they spend zero on marketing. All they do is contact realtors. And there is like a little tension sometimes between the realtor and the wholesaler and investor world, but that's dissolving a lot, especially with people who see the value that's added in there. And a lot of it's also in our mind. You're gonna come across buttholes anywhere in the world, but that ain't about you or us. That's about them. So let's keep it moving with that. But I thought it was a cool way. So that's a quick bonus tip on how to find leads and deals, almost for the freezy. So heck yeah, pretty much for the freezy, because you can Zillow is right there. All right, folks. So if folks wanted to connect with you all and ask you questions about your journey, or by the time they even get this, y'all probably gonna big time doing things on your own, or whatever, or maybe still rocking with the Aqua team. How do y'all want them to find you, if you want them to connect with you? Can they connect on social, Insta, give you a call, or just check in? What you want? How do they find you, Crystal?
You can find me on Instagram at k.p _ that's me. That's the one that I kind of just stick to, is Instagram.
Awesome. What about you, Kayla?
Yeah, you can actually find me on Facebook at K Love Homes, and also Instagram at New Movements 2020.
Heck yeah. And I'm Courtney Ross with Aqua Team Properties LLC. If you're looking at this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Like I said, it helps us reach many more people. And if you have any questions or comments or suggestions or anything like that, I'm a lifelong learner, and I love to learn, love to connect with like-minded people who are positive out there. So hit us up. We're on Instagram too, Aqua Team _properties. I just started a TikTok page. That is dangerous. I didn't understand TikTok, but now I'm having a blast. So yeah, y'all can find us there too. And as we always say, rising tides lifts all sails. Peace. All right.